She helped call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, we're kind of lulled asleep over here. You know, we're watching, all of a sudden it's a loss. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, I understand the feeling, Pito. I will say this, in the second quarter, Tyler Murray, my terrific partner, our lovely colleague, said, you know, if the Knicks lose this game, we'll point to free throws. Because at that point, I think they had missed 6 free throws. Ultimately, they finished the ball game having left 10 points at the line, and it is a one-possession game. I added to what Tyler said, the three-point shooting might come back to haunt them as well, because we know typically when this team doesn't shoot well, it's hard for them to overcome that. Now, despite all of that, y'all, until about 3 minutes in the ball game, you thought you were going to be able to get out of here and survive. But I think the last turnover by Jalen Brunson, the inability to stop the Hawks in the paint in the clutch time portion of this ball game, that was pretty much all she wrote. And with all that considered, you got a decent look to close the game. But I think when you go back, and this is why I asked Mike Brown about the fourth quarter in today's pregame press conference, when you go back and look, I think, again, they kind of took their foot off their gas a bit in that fourth and didn't give you 48 total minutes.
I agree, and it started with the bench, Monica. The momentum really shifted. Because the Knicks, you know, they put Alvarado now in the lineup. Alvarado, you know, was okay. But, you know, the continuity of the bench, they kind of, both stints they had, I think, to start the second quarter and the fourth quarter weren't as good as they were in the first half, in the first game especially.
Correct.
And I think the Hawks kind of smelled that. They sniffed that. They used that momentum to kind of say, hey, we made this a ball game here. We got a chance to pull this one off. And then I agree with you, Monica. They did not execute down the stretch the way the Knicks are capable of.
Monica, points in the paint in the fourth quarter, 22 for the Hawks, 4 for the Knicks.
Pito,
the Knicks were dominant. After 3 quarters, the Knicks were up 50-36 points in the paint. Fourth quarter, 22 for Atlanta, 4 for New York.
Honestly, like, there were a couple of stats that we were tracking tonight that really sort of were the solve, if you will, on the poor three-point shooting and what they had left at the three-point line. And that was rebounds and it was second-chance opportunities, because they were dominant in both categories. As the game turned, you're absolutely right. You look up, and it's actually the Hawks that finished the game, I think, +6, 58-52 in that paint scoring category. And so to me, yes, when we go back and watch the tape, do you see some schematic differences? I thought the Hawks did a better job of spreading the floor so that the help defense that was so on point in the first half wasn't as readily available. C.J. McCollum went after Jalen Brunson, who we know competes on that side of the floor, but he had a 32-point night, so it wasn't much you could do there. And on the other side, I thought the Knicks settled for jump shots as opposed to getting to the paint. And then there were some times they were in the paint, and for whatever reason, the ball was dancing around on the rim and refused to give them the home team bounce. And so, yeah, that points in the paint, Peter, I'm with you. That one was particularly telling. And I believe tonight the Knicks finished with 14 turnovers. I don't have a final box in front of me, but they had 2 very costly turnovers late in the fourth quarter.
Indeed, 14 turnovers for the Knicks led to 18 Atlanta points.
Yeah.
All right, Monica, thank you. We'll talk to you on Thursday night, Game 3 from Atlanta.
Sounds good.
And we didn't. They just kind of stayed with it. You know, we just got to lock in a little bit better. In a playoff game, it's tough to win against a good team when you shoot 60% from the free throw line. In a one-possession game, we missed 10 free throws. One possession game, we have 14 turnovers for 18 points. So, you know, that's how they beat us in transition, was off our turnovers. We had some bad turnovers that led to some early baskets for those guys in transition. So we have to do a better job taking care of the ball, do a better job from the free throw line. And, you know, one of the things that we talked about was boxing out. We did a nice job boxing out. We have to keep putting bodies on bodies. For them to get 6 offensive rebounds is big for us. And then down the stretch, you know, we got some pretty good looks. We got the ball in the right people's hands down the stretch, and we just didn't convert. So, like I said, at the end of the day, we got to lock in from the free throw line, and we got to take care of the ball. Those are the turnover part is something that they're good at, and they were good at that tonight. The last thing I would say is that, you know, in that fourth quarter too, you could tell that they were playing with a level of desperation, and, you know, there were 4 50-50 balls, and they got 3 of the 4. And, you know, we always use that stat to gauge or gauge, you know, the level of aggression in a game, and in that fourth quarter, their aggression stepped up.
Mike, there were a few stretches there where you went with lineups that didn't have Jalen or Cat on the floor. Just wondering what you saw in those lineups and if you think that's kind of where the game got away a little bit.
No, I don't think so. We've played that lineup quite a bit since the end of the season, and that lineup's been pretty good. We weren't good tonight, and we turned the ball over a few too many times during that period, but we had opportunities where, our starters were in and we were up 8-10 and Atlanta closed it. So I wouldn't just say that specific lineup caused it.
Mike, you didn't use the use it or lose it that you had and then called that timeout with 2:43 left. Was just wondering what your logic was on the timeout with 2:43 after passing on the use it or lose it.
I apologize. I wish I can help you. Right now, I can't.
It was Jalen was in transition. You called. He was penetrating to the rim, going right.
Yeah, because we had, a couple of possessions weren't fluid, and so I wanted to make sure that we had something that we wanted to get to or to set something up offensively, because we had whiffed on the last couple of possessions. They just didn't look right or didn't feel right.
Not having a timeout on that final possession. I mean, what did you think of the final shot that Mikal got, and would you have used the timeout if you had had one?
You know what? I usually like to go so they can't put in their best defenders and all that other stuff. 5 to 7 seconds is close. It would have been by gut feel, but there is a chance I could have taken a timeout. And then if I had one, and then there's a chance I wouldn't have. I thought it was a good shot. Mikal got up the floor. I thought he got to his spot. He was a little off balance. But I don't think the shot was under a ton of duress. That's shots that he's hit for us in the past.
Mike, just what's sort of your message to the team about bouncing back after this one?
The reality of it is, it's why these things are 7-game series. You got to keep taking it one possession, one quarter, one game at a time. And, Atlanta did what they wanted to do. They came in here and they took one from us at home. And, in my opinion, you got to be able to win on the road if you expect to get where you want to go to. And so for us, we got to go win on the road.
Jalen, 10 and 26. And what did you make of what you saw from him offensively?
I thought he got to his spots. I'm still trying to figure out, what's a bump and what's not a bump. You see a guy like CJ get to drive, and if you chest him, it's a foul. And I even asked the officials about it. Jalen's driving, and he's getting the same bump. Now, he's not as light or as quick as CJ, so, the speed may not be the same, but when he's going, he's getting hit, and he's getting knocked away from the bucket. So trying to figure that out a little bit better is something that I need to do. But I thought Jalen got to his spots. I thought he could have got to the free throw line a couple of more times than 7 times throughout the course of the game, especially with as aggressive as he.
C4 energy. Mitchell Robinson tied a career high, Allen, with 13 points. We talked to Monica. The Knicks were dominating points in the paint until the fourth quarter.
Until the fourth quarter, yes, and it was all a lot of ball movement, right? That to me is what I thought stopped late in the third quarter and early in the fourth, because you see in the ball movement here and the attack in the basket, it's just fantastic. How about this finish from OG Anunoby volleyball?
Yeah, that was impressive, and
this is a bad turnover.
Yeah, those turnovers can't happen, and you notice Dyson Daniels wasn't on the floor at the end of the game.
Yep.
So the Hawks had capable players out there. That was the big shot by Bridges to close the first half to put the Knicks up by 7. That's a nice sizable lead. And then the Knicks came out and punched him in the mouth to start the third quarter. Jalen Brunson knocking down some shots. Karl Anthony Towns got going, but that guy was huge. He played 35 minutes off the bench. Yeah. You can tell he's going to be a key cog. And C.J. McCollum just sliced and diced the Knicks in the fourth quarter. he was the best player on the floor. And at crunch time, best player on the floor is going to take his team to victory. And he was the guy in this one. And Jalen Brunson, a couple uncharacteristic turnovers, hit 2 big threes, did Jalen Brunson, to keep the Knicks in the game and give them a chance to win it. But that was quite a performance by this young Hawks team. It really was. And now this series is an absolute dogfight. Here we go. Strap it up. Knicks are capable of winning down in Atlanta, but it really hurts to let this one go the way it did.
There was nothing young about the Hawks in that game, right? There was nothing, because it was McCollum and being on the court, seeing early on, as it looked like the Knicks were going to take control of this game. The Hawks struggled. Jalen Johnson again struggled. Great job by Josh Hart. It was McCollum who started barking, talking to everybody, not his own teammates. He started trash-talking the crowd, trash-talking some of the Knicks players. He was having it out, and it almost seemed to galvanize the bench. That's a vet. Like, that's what a vet does. And he started saying, all right, I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm going to make them all hate me. I'm going to start making shots. And the more the Knicks started missing shots that they normally make and struggled, you just saw the confidence building within the Hawks because of what McCollum was doing. I give him a ton of credit, because it just shows you, again, what a leader, what a guy with that much experience. The only guy with really true playoff experience on this team. When you have somebody like that on your team, and he smells blood, and the Knicks certainly left the door open, he started making shots, they started believing, and he said, get on my back, I'll carry you to this one. He missed 2 late free throws. Boy, that would have been tough.
That was huge.
If Bridges hits that shot, that's one that he really does regret, those 2 free throws, because the opportunity was there still for the Knicks to steal it. But sometimes the basketball gods say, no, you didn't earn this one.
Yeah, that's true.
So here's the sequence. The Hawks are up 1. McCollum misses 2 free throws. Knicks don't have a timeout. And it comes back from Mikal Bridges with a chance to win the game here. This is off. The second miss.
Good job by Hart looking up.
No timeouts. Going for the win.
That's a great look. That's a wide open look. You can't get a better look than that.
Here's Bridges now after the game.
Mikal, the team was outscored 28-15 in the fourth. What do you pinpoint that took place down there?
Yeah, I mean, we just execute better on offense, and then help each other get stops on other.
What can the team do differently against C.J. McCollum?
I think just help each other out. You know, I think it's all 5 of us out there. I think we just got to communicate, help each other, and make it difficult for them.
Had a chance to win it down the stretch, and then the last possession. Did you like the look you got? Yeah, just miss it. You know, like I got nothing wrong with it. Just got to make it next time.
Was there any thoughts of trying to get to the basket there?
Just trying to get to the spot. With the time going out, just try to get a nice shot, a rhythm shot.
So you like the shot you got there?
Yeah.
What you think about the offensive rhythm altogether for the team?
I think it could have been better. We just got to, learn from it and just get better. But it definitely got to be better.
How would you, I guess, tighten it up? What would you do differently, or not you in particular, but as a team?
Just got to, come back, watch film and, learn what we got to do better. But just, turnovers leading to their transition, but just being better as a team.
Before the game today, Coach said that he thought you let your foot off the gas in the fourth quarter of Game 1. Did that happen tonight, or was there some other reason that you attribute to that fourth quarter?
I think we could have done better. Had a good lead and just got to keep playing. And I think just not getting the good looks on offense in the beginning got them a little rhythm. But yeah, we just got to keep this full intensity the whole game.
Was it the way that last possession worked, where he misses 2 free throws? And then you guys, I guess you did have a timeout left. I mean, was it a little surprise just how that play kind of came together?
We had a timeout left? I don't think so.
No? Oh, okay. So I guess, was it a little surprise just with him missing 2 and, was it a little rushed at all, that last play?
We're just getting out, it was basketball in the day, go try to make a play, and that's really it.
Mikal, how much can you draw from the experience of last year against Detroit? You guys dropped 1 at the Garden, went into Detroit, different outcome. What can you take into Atlanta?
Yeah, it's a playoff series, man. It's just, it is what it is, and you got to learn from it. Good team over there, and you're not going to stop quitting. But it's just, it's going to get us going, and we just got to be ready for the next game.
What can you guys do to get a handle on CJ? It looks like he's just, I think he had 32 today, 26 the other day. Just what can you guys do to, I guess, slow him down?
I think just everybody just helping each other out. Pretty much, it's 5 of us out there just talking to each other and just helping.
Jalen, what did you think of your guys' process offensively in the fourth quarter?
We were a little stagnant. Obviously, I can control what I can control, and so poor decision making on my part. And a couple possessions, they played great defense, knocked the ball out of my hands. We just had to we got to play better with the lead. That's twice in the fourth quarter now that we've done that.
1-1 going to Atlanta. Obviously, this game was winnable. But the group that you have in that locker room, what do you think about the idea of regrouping and going down there? What do you guys have in there in terms of character?
Yeah, I mean, we've been in this situation before. Obviously everyone is, frustrated with, this loss. And, we're going to go into game 3 with a great attention to detail and a great focus, for a full 48. We got high character guys, who respond well.
Question for Jalen. So when they first double team you when first quarter, the ball was moving pretty fluid, but at the end, the ball kind of just wasn't moving that much, but obviously you hit a big shots. Are you expecting to make some changes maybe down the stretch next game if things kind of happens when they start double team you?
Yeah, make better decisions and put my team in a position to win.
Kind of for both of you in general, Cat's going off in the third quarter, but he basically stayed zeros in the second and the fourth. What do you think the team could do better to get him involved more evenly throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we got to make sure he's involved. Find him on mismatches, put him in action, make sure we use his skill and his gravity to our advantage. And that's something that we'll look at film and be better with.
Jalen, when they got CJ and they're switching to get on you, what can you do differently to stop him when he's going like that?
Yeah, he was in a great rhythm. I got to disrupt it, make him play on his heels, make him react to me defensively, and.
Game 5, that's next Tuesday. It's going to be at MSG. We know this season will go this series will go at least 5 games. Remember, pre- and post-game coverage for every game right here on MSG. Cat tonight, only 2 fourth-quarter shots, but did finish with 18 points. Here he is after the game.
They hit shots, and we didn't make shots, but also, too, when it came down to it, CJ and McCullum made some tough shots, and you got to give credit where credit's due, so, a hell of a player. He's been a hell of a player for a long time in this league, and we got to do a better job of making it more difficult for him.
You and Jalen spent a lot of time on the bench together at the same time today. What would you see in those minutes where you guys were on the floor? Like that's when the Hawks kind of started to go on, gain some momentum.
I don't know. I got to watch the tape, but I'll tell you one thing. We trust any one of our guys in this locker room to be in that game at any time. So, I got to watch the game, but what I do know is that the time when we were off the court wasn't when we lost. It was the time, when we were on the court at the end and when they found ways to make shots. So it's on us as starters and me and JB to make it tougher on them.
What do you think the team could do differently against CJ?
I think there's some things. When we watch tape, we'll figure it out and we'll make our adjustments.
Before the game today, Coach was saying that in Game 1, he thought you guys let your foot off the gas a little bit in the fourth quarter. Did that happen tonight?
I don't know. I don't know about that, Like I said, they made shots. At the end of the day, we garnered the lead, so we've had the foot on the pedal. But they made shots to cut the lead, so you got to give credit where credit's due.
When you see that last shot go up by Mikal that he's made a lot, just kind of thoughts when you see it, you think that's...
Portland. Mikal and Portland. I'm confident, like I said, I'm confident any one of these guys in this locker room going out there, shooting the last shot, being on the court in the playoffs at any time. And that's because the trust we have in this locker room is special, and also because the guys we know, everyone here is putting the work in. So confidence in each other is built not just off of we're all wearing the same jersey, but because we see everyone putting the work in.
Mikal was saying that Mikal was basically saying that the offensive flow could have been a little better, and that might be an improvement for Game 3. Do you agree? And in what ways do you think that you guys could improve offensively as a unit?
Yeah, I mean, we could have flowed better for sure. I mean, we could have done that, but at the end of the day, I got to watch the tape. You know, when you're so into the game, it's hard to give a great assessment of how it went.
It seemed like you were in a rhythm early in the second half. It sounded like you were in a pretty good rhythm, and then in the fourth quarter, it didn't. You weren't as productive. I think you might have got one shot. What did you feel? I know you got to watch the tape, but what did you feel when you were out there?
Just, you know, the opportunity just didn't come around to, shoot it. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, I trust everyone in this locker room to shoot the ball. It didn't find, the opportunity wasn't